Hi, William Hououin here for a new Villagers and Heroes poll discussion. I am back for this one. Gru saved me last time, but I'm back with my quote-unquote sexy French accent. So the last poll was all about even zone. Let's see what V asked this time. All about even zones. When was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day on average? How many days/weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? Rank your favorite even zones from most to least and explain the ordering. Which aspects of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? How would you classify challenge in an even zone? What changes would you make to improve the even zone experience? So V asked this a few months ago, but I guess he wanted to have some fresh perspective on even zones. So let's see what the community thinks about that. So first, we have Cosmic Kitty saying, last cosmetic reward, Grinchta, I got a mount on 2 tunes, not dog, but a Yeti on one and a reindeer on another. How long in even zones? I play even zone with 2 tunes. On even zone where you get XP for each boss run, please give XP every 2 hours on all. I probably do boss run 5-6 times daily. On even zone like Sugar Sweet, I try to do the run once on each. I do my dailies most days. If I'm online, I'll take a tune to B and C, maybe. How many days in even zone? I might stop doing quests if I get the reward I want, but the parts that give XP I continue to do till it's closed. Even zone ranking. 1. Grinchta was my first even zone and I like that it has varied content. Hate bash though. Pyramid Thing, the Oasis. Simple, easy, fun to beat up mummies. I don't remember if shadows give XP, but if not, needs that. I feel like I remember some awful crafting for this though with a quest that's locked behind it. Veil. Wings, fun ladder. I like the concept of high-low ladder. I think you should be able to do either, but not both. Give a reward difference, but not an even zone currency difference. I'd like to see high-low content in other even zones, but as an or not an and. Jeez. But as an or not an and. I feel I'm trying to say some kind of incantation to bring back Satan. Sugar Sweet, it's so pink. Please change the colors to pastels instead of 50 shades of pink. Actually, Cosmic, I don't know if you were here like 4 years ago, but it was a lot more pink than it is now. I feel now it's quite pastel, actually. I like, man, Sugar Sweet is my favorite even zone, and truth be told, I'm not really grinding even zones anymore. There's too much. There's too much grinding to do. I just tend to look at the cash shop and choose, the mount I want or, an outfit or something. And I just buy it. Yeah, anyway. This ladder feels one boss too long for me. No XP for multiple runs. I like the toothpaste horse, but I can't seem to get it. Moors. I'm not sure what I hated about this, but was my first year doing it and it was so boring. I did almost none of the quests. Totem was way too long. Not a bad idea, but less mobs, just throw the bosses in faster. Took like 45 minutes plus with a low-level group. I don't know if I'm forgetting any others. I'll answer later, coffee times. Alright, thanks Cosmic for answering the questions. I don't think you've answered later. not that I can see. So, but yeah, thanks for answering. You know, I understand your concerns, but I disagree on sugar sweet. All right, next. Okay, next we have Ekimi saying, I think we made that ranking before. I don't want to do it again. Yes, we did, Ekimi. We already did a even zone poll discussion. But sugar sweet is my last least favorite. Second least, it is so scattered. My least favorite is Equinox because it is a huge zone and scattered. And all those different boss timers are even worse. I much prefer a clean run like Christmas Zone. Everything spawns in a row, and you can just go there once every 2 hours, run the whole place, and then wrap up a few dailies, etc. and done, although Christmas has a lot of dailies. My favorite is probably Moore's, exactly the opposite of Cosmic Kitty, because it has decent amount of dailies without being overwhelming. Nice clean run. It is overseeable. Veil is nice like that too, although dying on ladders sucks. Yeah, because you're kind of kicked out the ladders, right? If you don't take a resis, which kind of sucks. All right, thanks for answering, Ikimi. Now we have Mattfish saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? I think it was a few months ago. I got something for 1,000 or so currency. Before that, maybe a year or so. It's mostly because I've gotten, via earn or pay, most everything I want from even zones. I'm working toward the big pricey pie ray for this even zone. Yeah, this is the one I've bought, actually. I went for the pie. How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day on average? As long as it takes to do the dailies and kill bounties once. It varies per event. For Sugar Sweet, it is 30 to 90 minutes, depending on whether there is a ladder and how slow the killing is. That is when I'm active, though. How many days, weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? Whether the length of time is between day 1 and the announcement that the even zone is ending. If the zone dies, then that time will be considerably less. This all applies regardless of whether I have the even zone stuff I've aimed for. Rank your favorite even zones from most to least and explain the ordering. Oh, you see, I will have to look them up. I will come back to this later. He didn't. Which aspects of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? For me personally, the only challenge is getting people together to do something. Single-player games for the win sometimes, isn't it? Outside of that, this maxed level 95 fish tank doesn't have much trouble in even zones. On a side note, how am I fish tank with literally the squishiest class in the game? I don't know. You probably do the numbers right. How would you classify challenge in an even zone? See my post in the forums for the definition on the thread that I assume inspired this question. Otherwise, there isn't enough time in the day for me to elaborate on what constitutes challenge. What changes would you make to improve the even zone experience? Have the devs play as level 5 tunes for a bit and get a feel for the frustration that those people feel. Then take it from there. I don't think it's a bad advice, actually. Yeah. Thanks for answering, Matt. Next one. Tweety Bird. Chirp, Tweety. Saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? 2023 Sugar Sweet this year by completing the main quest. How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day on average? 50-75% of the time I am logged into the game. How many days, weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? 6-7 days a week. Rank your favorite even zones from most to least and explain the ordering. Vale, I think it is pretty, although the crafting quests are grinding most can obtain the ingredient. Moors, the zone is small and if you are killed, you usually have time to run back for credit. Grinchta, it gives people who enjoy crafting a chance to earn a premium item. Sugar Sweet, it is the least friendly even zone for new and lower level players. Sands of the Equinox, the zone is too big and hard to navigate. Which aspects of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? I don't think the even zone should be challenging. And this is a pretty good point, actually. Challenging content should be kept out of a place where a level 1 player can go. How would you classify challenge in an even zones? Players are not looking for challenge, they are looking for a prize. If they were that bored, they wouldn't play the even zone. Yeah, if you're looking for a challenge, raids are a great place to get a challenge. What changes would you make to improve the even zone experience? Zings, bounties, ladders would award tradable boxes with random zone currency. Dailies would award zone currency. And I think dailies should be lowered a bit. Some even zones have so much dailies that it's like you kind of want to give up before you start. Lower cost of items and offer fewer rewards. Make currency cumulative. Add a level 45 even zone weapon box to create an exclusive even zone weapon, something like the augmentation weapon box. The weapon could have no more than 3 sockets, and you would only be allowed to use that weapon in the even zone. Remove all boosts and buffs, including speed. Alright, thanks for commenting, Tweety. I don't have much to add to this. Alright, now Grimlight saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? I can't remember. How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day? 3-6 hours average. Wow, 6 hours is quite a bit. How many days, weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? 1 week of serious grind, but then I start getting lazy and only do dailies. Rank your favorite even zones from most to least. Oasis, Twilight, Haunted Moors, Sugar Sweet, Winter. Oh yeah, the Christmas one, Grinchta. Which aspects of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? Not too challenging but fun, the empowered ladders. How would you classify challenge in an even zone? Part where you can't have the reward if you stay AFK and gotta do some stuff. Okay. What changes would you make to improve the even zone experience? Making normal boss fights in all events in a way everyone's gotta stay active, and if anyone is AFK, they have low chances of survival, like Grinchta fights. I think Grimlight is having a bit of annoyance with some AFK people, which is understandable actually. Play the game or log off. Alright? Okay, next. We have Fergus saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? During Grinchta, I got a top hat and some gloves for the Christmas Carol thingies. Other than that, I've never had a cosmetic reward. I think the outfits are ridiculous and I have no interest in them. This is an opinion, that's for sure. How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day on average? During Moors, maybe an hour a day, but probably less. In Grinchta this year, probably 15 to 20 minutes per day. I've maybe spent a couple hours total in Sugar whatever. Sugar Sweet, Fergus. How many days, weeks do you partake in an event zone on average? During Moors, I'm in and out throughout the event most days, but not all. In Grinchta, I would go in every couple of days during the event. Didn't do Vale or Equinox at all. Probably done with Sugar or whatever. Note that my time is scattered amongst as many as a half dozen characters across a couple servers. That's dedication. Rank your favorite event zone from most to least and explain the ordering. 1. Moors. Easy to get in on the bounty runs and horde. Deities are pretty straightforward, though I only ever do them a few times typically. 4. Grinchta. Why? You're messing with me. Grinchta. Also easy to get in on bounty runs, though never did get in on the big boss at the end as the event was over before I finished enough of the quest that made him appear. The crafting quests are a bit annoying and I only did them once. Sugar whatever. Hate the zone. From the hideous color scheme to the stupid pounds that penalized anyone who doesn't have a flying mount and is trying to stay with the bounty group. Hate the weird ingredients that drops that take up vault space, while you maybe get enough for a recipe that I have no interest in getting in the first place. Others. I've never done them. Nothing about them grabbed me, and the talk on Discord forums convinced me that I wanted nothing to do with them. Which aspect of Event Zone do you find too challenging, if any? Challenging? Not sure what that means. There are all set up so that if you are in a large enough group, you'll have no problem. If your group is too small or too low level, then you'll get smashed like bugs. How would you classify challenge in an event zone? I wouldn't. Event zones should be about fun. Yeah, second time we get that answer, and I pretty much agree with it. I like challenging stuff, but I think event zones should be pretty easy. What changes would you make to improve the event zone experience? Quit taking away the event currency and rewards when the event ends. Having the rewards like the nugs from Sugar whatever expire is especially annoying, as I have at least one character that probably won't use them before they go away. Add rewards that are useful and don't expire. Pretty much spent all my Moors currency on bat wings and small pumpkins. Thrown in some equivalents to miracle waters, super feeds, moats, and such. Thank you for answering, Fergus. Now we have Morgan saying, never, never, never. Takes way too long to get anything. Just a grind and not really fun for me. To be honest, I haven't been back to the same events for a long time. Gave up. I recognized myself in that. I feel the amount of time I need to be grinding is just too much, and I end up not doing them. There's something to be rethought about event zone grinding, I feel. But anyway, just my opinion and maybe Morgan's opinion. Now we have Priest Demic saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an event zone? I think it's been a couple of years. And just to add a little bit here, I feel that when you've been playing for a long time, and PD played a lot more than me, but I'm 5 years in now, you've been through those event zones quite a few times, and so asking veteran players how they feel about a particular piece of content might not be representative of the whole community. The first event zone I did was Sugar Sweet, and I was super excited, loved it, and I was super ready to go back into it the year after. But then the third and fourth and fifth years, yeah, maybe not. So anyway, continuing the reading. How long do you normally spend in an event zone per day on average? I don't. At beginning of an even zone, I hop into the zone to help people get acclimated and keep drama to a minimum. Once things get settled, though, I usually don't do much with even zones unless asked. How many days, weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? Same answer. Rank your favorite even zone from most to least and explain. Moors was first and just a lot of nostalgia. Grinch, love the artwork and the zone is still easy to follow. This is something that is coming back a lot with Grinchta. The zone is straightforward and it's easy to get your bounties and quests. Vale, again, love the artwork and the teamwork to get the job done. Sugar Sweet, the only even zone without lag, but I dislike how many bosses there are and all the system messages. I also frequently get lost in the zone, especially trying to find the entrance. Oasis. It's never been a favorite. The concept for me is meh. The zone seems big and bulky. Trying to get around is extremely difficult for me. Which aspect of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? Some of the ladders are extremely difficult. I know I get asked to help with Veil a lot. I stopped doing the more difficult ladder there. It's just too many resis. The thing I find most challenging has nothing to do with the actual task. It's the lag, especially with Grinchta, Druida and Prisma. The lag that affects the entire game when these bosses are up is, well, it's very bad. How would you classify challenge in an even zone? Don't feel qualified to answer this. What changes would you make to improve even zone experience? Change rewards. I understand that people want to get rewards from previous event zones. However, if you've been there a bit, you're doing all this work for stuff you already have. Kind of what I was saying earlier. Generally, there's an outfit or maybe a mount added and the cost for the new items is astronomical, so it's generally not feasible for me to get it. All that said, I don't mind even zones, except the lag. I love group content, but generally for the even zone, the group content isn't teamwork, it's just go and bash on a thing. There's not much strategy involved. It's okay, they're not my favorite thing. A lot of people love them. I'd hate to see them go away. Oh, I'm sure they won't. I hope they won't. It's still great content. I also know that a lot of work goes into making them and making them for all players to love. I appreciate the effort and the generosity of all the authors during easy times. They're just not my thing. Oh, I forgot something. One reason I stopped doing as much in the even zone is it takes up a full bag. All the little buffs and the currencies and the thing you have to make, gather, collect, the storage can be a nightmare. Indeed, I agree with that. Maybe we should have a like an even zone special bag in our inventory that would just unlock when the even zone is up and would disappear once the even zone leaves. But just a thought. Thanks, PD, for answering the poll. Now we have Haley saying, when was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an even zone? Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Maybe the Rhino a few years back. How long do you normally spend in an even zone per day on average? Back in the day, an hour maxed, enough to do bosses at least once and get the quests done, but real life almost always got in the way. Yeah, freaking real life, hate that. How many days, weeks do you partake in an even zone on average? Well, recently none, but before about a month is my limit if I'm actually trying to get something. Rank your favorite zones from most to least. Equinox, Hououin, Vale, the rest I could live without. Sugar Sweet is really not a liked even zone. Which aspects of even zones do you find too challenging, if any? I don't know. The fact that I have to live, breathe, and eat there if I want something relatively new. Same like what PD just said. The new stuff just takes too much time to get. It's just not worth it. If you have a real job, you're better off just buying the mount you want and do something else with your time at this point. It is probably the most challenging and least rewarding aspect of event and one I find the least appealing. So it's a lose-lose situation. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something to be rethought with how you get rewards. But yeah, thanks for your comment, Hailey. And now the last but not the least, Claudia06. When was the last time you earned a cosmetic reward in an event zone? Last time I earned a reward from the event zone was during Grinchta's Lair. Over those 8 weeks, I planned to save up for an ancient slate mount. I couldn't do every daily I wanted to, but continuously every day, but over scattered time, I spent approximately 7 weeks to get my sleigh. Is that how you say that? I know the word, but I have no idea how it's pronounced. How long do you normally spend in an event zone per day on average? Personally, this one depends on which event zone is currently active. I like to spend more time in zones like Sugar Sweet, yeah, high five, and Twilight Vale, since ladder runs are more time consuming. Can't read. In Sugar Sweet, Vale, and Lair, I spend about 30 minutes to an hour. Any other event zone, I only catch a boss run here and there, as well as ladders can be considered challenging content. I have fun putting in effort towards something I want to buy. Ending up short a little currency for a specific item is disheartening though. How many days, weeks do you partake in event zone on average? Following question 2, for me this also depends on which event zone is currently active. On average, I spend 5-7 days for events such as Sugar Sweet, Vale, and Lair. Rank your favorite event zones from most to least and explain. Grinchta's Lair. I love helping out with the toy trading quest, and I don't find much of the content there to be over challenging. Except for Bash, that needs to be fixed before the lair comes back. Sugar Sweet Summit. I love doing boss runs, ladders runs, and general zing runs. Nowadays, Bunny and Clyde I find a little tedious and repetitive. Everyone trying to get that awesome Mustang with such a slim chance is unfair. Twilight Vale. I think this is the most balanced event zone because it has 2 ladders. At least the regular ladder is manageable for any player. The empowered ladder is challenging content and could use a few tweaks. Other than that, Twilight is a good event zone. Haunted Moors. The last time this event came around was better than I had expected it to be. The albino bat was a great addition, and Pumpkinhead has been improved significantly than what it was a while back. Considering it challenging content, a Horde of Horrors can use a few tweaks to scale for lower level players. Oasis. To be honest, this is my cat, the food for the cat that just dispense itself, I guess. Oasis. To be honest, I've never played this event zone over a long time period. I've seen it as any other event zone would be, dailies and boss runs. Just never liked the old desert theme, and the zone is difficult to navigate through. Which aspects of event zone do you find too challenging, if any? Christmas Bash, too time constricting. How would you classify challenge in an event zone? I think many people classify challenge as low-level players will struggle at it. I see it as that way too, and I don't really have that problem since I only play my main, who is at level 85 right now. What changes would you make to improve the even zone experience? The even zones should scale to lower level players in a better way, where it is less of a struggle and challenge to complete certain ladders, other stuff. I see lots of players just skipping the whole hassle of the even zones because not having a time frame of when an even zone will start and end, and saving up for that one item is a constant energy drainer. The worst part is ending up a small amount short of your goal. My suggestion to fix this is even calendar with currency being earned every day a player checks in, or at least a decent time frame for every event zone. Side note, I spend more time in an event zone that has new interesting content, almost up to 1 hour a day. In general, I'm not really planning to save up for anything specific during this current event zone. Sugar sweet. The raids released this year are awesome, but since I'm finding it harder to keep grinding through constant dailies, and as the prices for even zone currency seems more expensive, kinda giving up for saving up on something big this time. Thank you very much for answering, Claudia, and this was it. This was all about even zones 2, the Judgment Day. I don't know. I like Terminator too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yeah, have fun playing VNH. This is probably what I'm going to do this afternoon. So, yeah, this is it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.